So the World Health Organization has declared today, October 10th, as Mental Health Day. And those of you joining me here, I probably don't have to convince that yoga is great for mental health. In fact, in the second sutra of the Yoga Sutras is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which translates to yoga is controlling the fluctuations of the mind. And I think our greatest tool for mental health is pranayama. And so we're going to start with some pranayama this morning. So bring your hands into, well, it has several names, but Jnana Mudra, Chin Mudra, or Gyan Mudra. So just index finger and thumb to touch, the other three fingers extended, and then just rest your hands on your knees, palms face up. Find a tall spine, draw the shoulders back and down, reach up through the crown of your head, and close your eyes. So this pranayama we're going to work with this morning is called Samavritti, or equal flow. And so we're going to count the breath. And let me just explain before you start. We're going to inhale to the count of 4, pause for 2, exhale to the count of 4, pause for 2. And I just want to explain that pause is just kind of a suspension. We want to be careful that we're not holding tightly, we're not straining at all. Otherwise, we can change it to just holding for 1 count. And as we go through it, if you feel like you can go longer, maybe inhaling and exhaling to the count of 6 or even 8, you can even suspend the pause as you get comfortable with it. But again, I want you to be comfortable and not tightening or straining in any way. Okay, so close your eyes and we'll begin. So we're going to inhale for 2, 3, 4, pause for 2, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, pause for 2, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, pause for 2, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, pause for 2. And continue at your own pace. And as you continue breathing and counting, try to let the breath be as smooth as possible. When you inhale, draw the breath into the belly. And when you exhale, let the belly draw in towards the spine. Let the face be soft and relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Feel the torso expanding in all directions as you breathe in. And sense a slight contraction in the torso as you breathe out. And with your next inhale, you can gently open your eyes. You can return the breath to a natural state. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together in a bound angle. You can choose how close or how far the feet are to your body, but try to find the front of the sits bones. And then just have the feet at least close enough that you can hold on to your ankles or your shins. I'm going to do a few cat-cows to start in this bound angle. So as you inhale, draw the heart forward, take your gaze up towards the sky as the shoulders drop back and down. And then as you exhale, you're going to draw the navel in, round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, lengthen through the front body, lift your heart, gaze up. Exhale to round. And again, just continue at your own pace. Still trying to maintain that smooth, steady breath. And on your next inhale, we'll just come to a tall spine. Bring your hands to the outside of the knees. Draw the knees in. Bring your hands to the mat behind you. Walk your feet mat width apart. And windshield wiper your knees side to side. Okay, and then we'll straighten out the legs. And then bring your left foot into your inner right thigh. And then just try to center your sternum over that extended leg. Just coming into Janu Shirshasana. So inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Keep reaching and lengthening as you fold over the extended leg. And then let the hands rest wherever they happen to fall. Maybe it's on the floor or the leg, or maybe you can reach the foot. And just let your forehead softly drop towards that right shin or right knee. Take a couple big expansive breaths here. Filling the back body. And on your next inhale, reach out through those arms, ground the sits bones, draw navel to spine and rise up. Exhale, release the arms down. Now, lift that left knee and take the left foot to the outside of the right leg. Okay. And then sit up nice and tall. Take your left fingers behind you to prop yourself up. Inhale, reach the right arm towards the sky, creating length in the spine again. And then exhale, draw the belly in as you start to twist to your left. You can hug that left knee with the right arm or bring the left elbow to the outside of the knee for a deeper twist. And then as you inhale, find a little more lift through the heart. Exhale, start to turn your gaze back over your left shoulder. Pick up the left hip, scoot it back an inch or so. And just return to the breath. Practicing Samavriti again, equal inhale, equal exhale, with a pause in between each. Keep the spine long and that right foot flexed. And with your next inhale, return to center. And then we're going to take your right hand to the mat behind you. Okay? And you can even bring that left hand over. We're going to shift onto that right hip. Okay? So that right hand is in line with your right hip, fingers pointing towards the back of your mat. Turn all 10 toes to the right. Reach your left arm towards that right foot. Okay? And then on your inhale, we're going to press into both feet. Lift the hips, sweep that left arm overhead. And then exhale, lower back down, reach that left hand forward. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips for lateral stretch. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Then exhale, lower. And then shift your hips again so you're on both sits bones. We're going to take this right foot closer to the right hip. Maybe bend the lower leg if that's comfortable. So coming into Gomukhasana legs. Okay, again, you can keep the lower leg extended if that feels more comfortable, especially if you feel like you're kind of leaning to one side here. So try to ground both sits bones, flex the feet, and let's just take a moment to give ourselves a little foot massage. Feet work really hard for us. Base, foundation, whenever we're standing. Wiggle the toes. Work your way up and down the soles of the feet. Make fists and just drag your knuckles along the soles of the feet. That's very stimulating. Okay. And then bring your fingertips to the mat in line with your hips. Draw the shoulders back and down, sit up nice and tall. And then on an inhale, turn your left palms towards the sky. Reach the left hand up and overhead. We'll come into a lateral stretch. So try to keep that left sits bone grounded. You can press into the right hand to assist with that. Okay? And then inhale, lengthen through both side bodies. Exhale, see if you can reach out a little further to the right. Feel the left ribs lifting away from the left hip and this really nice stretch along that left side body. And then inhale, coming to center, releasing that left hand down. Then turn the right palm towards the sky. Inhale, sweep the right arm overhead and reach over to your left. Again, ground that right sits bones. You can press into the left hand to help with that. Draw shoulders away from your ears. Open through the chest. Maybe even gaze up towards the sky. Breathe in, creating more length in both side bodies. Exhale, reaching out a little further. Take a big breath into that right side. Exhale, draw navel to spine. And then inhale, we'll come back to center. Reach the arms out from the shoulders. And on your exhale, let's bring the right arm over left and tuck your chin. Giving yourself a big hug. So hands on the shoulders. Just gently roll your head side to side. Finding a little stretch in the neck. And then bringing your chin back towards your chest. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, release the hands down. Take the hands to the mat behind you. Lean back into the hands. Uncross the legs and let's extend the legs out wide. Coming into a wide straddle. Feet flex. Again, trying to find the front of the sits bones. And then we're just going to make circles with our torso here. So hands can rest maybe on the thighs or on the floor, whatever feels supportive. Keep the spine long and just make these circles at the hip. Kind of shifting from one sits bone to the next. I hope you can't hear how squeaky my floor is. All right, reverse the direction. And then coming to center. Again, bring the hands to the mat behind you, lean back into the hands, scoop the legs together, and we'll switch sides, okay? So start by taking that right foot into the inner left thigh, or Janu Shirsasana, and then centering your sternum over the extended leg, sitting up tall. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, keep reaching out as you hinge at the hips, folding over the extended leg. Maybe you can capture the foot or just rest your hands somewhere comfortable. Let your forehead drop towards that left knee. Focus your breath into the back body. With your next inhale, reach long through the arms, ground your sits bones, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, release the hands down. Now, lift that right knee. Bring your right foot to the outside of the left leg. Okay. Ground that right big toe mound into the mat, flex your left foot. Bring your right hand to the mat behind you to prop yourself up. Inhale, reach the left arm towards the sky. As you exhale, draw the navel towards the spine, start to twist to your right. You can hug that right knee with the left arm or bring the elbow to the outside for a little bit deeper twist. And then inhale again, lift through the heart, exhale, twisting a little deeper. You can pick up that right hip, scoot it back an inch or so, and then start to turn your gaze over your right shoulder. And then come back to Samavriti. Equal inhale, equal exhale, and equal pauses. Equal flow. Just find the count that works for you. Feel the torso expand as you inhale. Sense that slight contraction as you exhale. With your next inhale, release the twist. We'll take a small twist over to the left. Bring the left hand to the mat behind you, fingers pointing to the back of your mat. You can bring your right hand over to the left as well for a moment as you shift onto your left hip. So all 10 toes point to the left. You're on the outer edge of that left foot and on the sole of the right foot. Okay, reach your right hand forward. And on an inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips, sweep that right arm overhead and into a version of side plank. Exhale, release the hips down, reach the right arm forward. Inhale, lift, reach out overhead. Exhale, back down. One more time, inhale, lift, and exhale, release. Okay, we'll shift back onto our sits bones. Then take your right foot closer to your left hip, stacking the knees a little bit, or as much as you can, maybe bending that lower leg as well. Okay, it's okay to keep the lower leg extended. Okay, flex the feet. Once again, give ourselves a little foot massage. Maybe interlacing your fingers between the toes if they let you. You can just kind of wiggle the toes around. It's really nice if you spend a lot of your days with your feet crammed into dress shoes. I think these days, it's nice we don't have to wear dress shoes as often if we're working from home a lot. All right, release the toes. Okay, and then again, extend your hands towards the floor, align with your hips, draw the shoulders back and down, sit up tall. And then inhale, turn your right palm towards the sky. Reach it up and over as you fold over to the left. Keep the right sits bone grounded, just like we did before. It's just we have the other leg on top now. So shoulders drop back and down, the heart opens towards the sky. Maybe you gaze up if that feels okay on the neck. Take a deep breath into that right side body. And exhale. With your next inhale, we'll come back to center. We'll switch hands. So left palm turns up. Inhale, sweep it up and over, folding over to the right, keeping the left sits bone grounded, shoulders drawing away from the ears, opening your heart, maybe gazing up towards the sky. Take a deep breath into that left side body. Hold here as you exhale. And then inhale, we'll come to center. Extend the arms out from the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, we're gonna give ourselves a big hug again, this time with the right arm on top. I'm sorry, left arm should be on top. Tuck your chin. Gently roll your head side to side. And with your next inhale, reach the arms out wide. Exhale, take the hands to the mat behind you, lean back, unwrap the legs, and we'll take them out into a straddle. So again, finding the front of the sits bones, flexing the feet. And then bring the hands to the mat in front of you, and we're just gonna walk forward, folding. So keep the spine long for at least 3 full breaths. So just letting the heart lead the way, keeping the shoulders rolling back. And when we keep the spine long, we don't go very far. That's okay. Just hinging at the hips. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and let the head drop, let the back round. You can walk the hands forward if you want. Just find whatever's comfortable, softening into this forward fold. And then inhale, sitting back up. Let's bring the hands to the underside of the knees, okay? Use your hands to lift the knees. Bring the feet together. Give your knees a big hug. Tucking your chin, kind of curling into a little ball. And then inhale, sit up tall. And from here, we'll make our way onto our hands and knees. Okay, so coming to table. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Spread your fingers really wide. Ground into the thumb and forefinger. Feel the shoulder blades broaden. Hips stack over the knees, and we're going to tuck our toes under. On your exhale, we're going to float the knees off the floor. So I think we did this last week. We're going to move through some cat-cows in a floating table. So as you exhale, draw navel to spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift your gaze. Keep the knees floating and continue moving through a few sets of cat-cows. And on your next exhale, release the knees down, untuck your toes, bring your hips to your heels, walk your hands far forward for extended child's pose, resting your forehead on the mat and just returning to your breath. So coming back to that idea of pranayama being one of our greatest tools to assist us with any mental health challenges, depending on what those challenges are, you can lengthen either the inhale or exhale. So for instance, if you're dealing with like anxiety, stress, overstimulation, it's wise to lengthen your exhale to calm the body. If you're dealing with fatigue or depression, you might find it more useful to lengthen the inhale, to stimulate the mind a little bit more, to bring a little more energy back into your body. So just think of that as you move through practice and move through your day. What practice might benefit you more depending on how you're feeling today. All right, with your next inhale, we're gonna make our way into downward facing dog. So again, hands shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide, toes tucked under. Lift the hips and press the hips back. Take a few moments to wiggle a bit, shifting the hips side to side, walking out the legs. And then coming into stillness in this pose, but bringing your awareness to the hands and your feet, those places where your body connects to the earth. Feel the grounding, nurturing energy of the earth. Push your heart back towards your thighs. Keep the knees bent at least a little, maybe a lot. If you feel a lot of rounding in the low back, you'll want to bend your knees more. And then inhale, shift forward to plank. Pause here, stack the shoulders over the wrists. Your feet should be hip width apart. Draw the shoulder blades back towards your hips. Draw navel to spine. Squeeze the sits bones together. And reach out to the crown of your head. Take another deep breath in here. As you exhale, drop your knees. Bend the elbows straight back, lowering your chest and chin to the floor so the booty stays in the air for a moment. Untuck your toes and come all the way onto your belly. Forehead resting on the floor, tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Lift your shoulders away from the floor, but keep the elbows hugged in. And on your next inhale, draw your heart forward, lift your head and chest, and your right leg. Okay, so right leg stays straight, the toes are pointing towards the wall behind you, your heart is reaching out in front of you. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, lift the head and chest and the left leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the head and chest and both legs. Navel draws towards spine, elbows hug in, shoulders draw back. Exhale, release. Inhale, press up through table, tuck your toes under, and come into another downward facing dog. And again, you can take a moment or two to wiggle before settling in to the full pose, whatever that means for you. With your next breath in, we're going to lift the right leg towards the sky. Exhale, shift forward, stack shoulders over knees, or shoulders over wrists, bring your nose, create space between you and the floor, and then with your next exhale, bring that foot between the hands for lunge. Sometimes it needs a little help, that's okay. Take your time getting there. And then once you're there, make sure that your right knee is stacked over the ankle. You're pressing back through that left heel. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Feel how that lifts the pelvic floor a little bit. Your hands can be on blocks. If you have blocks here, this is a great place to use blocks. Take your gaze forward, take a deep breath in. Exhale, press into the front foot and straighten your leg and pause here. Draw your right hip back, left hip forward. And if you want to, you can flex the front foot. That's going to give you a deeper hamstring stretch. And on your inhale, shift forward. And then drop the back knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Keep the hips lunging forward. Exhale, draw navel to spine. Bring hands to heart center. And then we're going to move into a prayer twist. So taking your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Pressing the palms together, opening your chest towards your thumbs. Couple of options here. If it's hard to get your elbow on the knee, you can just use your hands to find that twist. Also, if you want a little extra challenge, you could lift the back knee. One more option is to extend the arms and fly. Wherever you are, stay connected to your breath. If the breath gets a little jagged, a little rough, maybe it means you need to take a step back and do something a little less. Maybe you're working too hard. And with your next inhale, bring the hands back to heart center. Exhale, take your hands to the mat. If that back knee is down, go ahead and lift the back knee. And then we'll step that front foot back, coming into plank. Pause here. Again, find that core engagement. Squeeze the sits bones together. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, lower down. Maybe knees, chest, chin like we did before, or you can come down in chaturanga if that's your practice. And then we'll all end up on our bellies. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, squeeze the elbows in, rest your forehead on the mat, lift the elbows away from the floor. Inhale, draw your heart forward, lift the head and chest in the left leg. Reach the left toes back, your heart forward, and exhale, release. Inhale, lift the head and chest in the right leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the head and chest in both legs. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up through table. Tuck the toes under, come into downward facing dog. And after those back bends, might feel better to keep the knees deeply bent in your down dog. On your next breath in, lift the left leg high. Exhale, bring knee to nose as you shift forward to step shoulders over wrists. Draw the navel in, create space between you and the floor. And then with your next exhale, place that foot forward between the hands or walk it forward, whatever it takes. Okay? Again, great place to use blocks here if you've got those. Stack left knee over left ankle. Stay active in that back leg. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And on your next exhale, press into the front foot. Straighten that front leg. Draw left hip back, right hip forward. You can walk the hands back a little bit if that's helpful. Maybe flex that left foot. And then coming forward again, bending that front knee. We're going to drop the back knee. And inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky, finding length in the front body, finding a stretch in that right hip flexor. Exhale, press into the front foot, draw the hands to heart center, and then we'll take right elbow to left knee for a prayer twist. Okay, press the palms together, turn your heart towards your thumbs, left elbow pointing towards the sky. Again, option here, you can open the arms and fly. You can lift the back knee. Whatever gives you a nice twist and still allows you to feel steady and comfortable. Allowing you to maintain the smooth inhale and exhale. With your next inhale, bring hands to heart center. Exhale, take your hands to the mat. If the back knee is down, go ahead and lift the back knee and step back to plank. Pause here, lengthen out through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Come all the way to your belly. We'll do one more round of that cobra flow. So keep your hands on the mat by your low ribs. Bring your forehead to the floor, elbows hug in, shoulders lift, feet press into the earth. Inhale, draw your heart forward, lift the right leg. And then exhale, release. Inhale, lift the head and chest and the left leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the head and chest and both legs. Exhale, release. Inhale, let's press up and back to another child's pose. Maybe the knees go wide this time. Rest your forehead on the floor. And reconnect with your breath. Count the breath. So maybe you practice Samavriti again, or maybe this time you decide to lengthen the inhales for a more stimulating experience, or maybe you lengthen the exhales for a more calming, grounding experience. These are all a lot of the great ways that we can personalize our practice. And each of us have a different experience, even though we're all doing basically the same poses. On your next breath in, reach your hands forward if they're not already, and start to make your way back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, gaze forward, looking between the thumbs, and then exhale, bend the knees deeply, bend the elbows towards the floor just a little bit, and just find this light bounce, this buoyancy. Feel the core engaged, navel drawing to spine. And on your next exhale, maybe you hop the feet off the floor. Let's just do a couple of these little hops. Okay, they could be little, they could be big. And then next time, maybe it takes 2 hops, but let's see if we can land the feet to the outside of the palms, coming into Malasana. And hopefully you have fun playing with that if that didn't quite work as expected. It's just like everything, it takes practice. We draw the shoulders back, open through the heart. And now release the hands to the ground. Start to lift the hips. You can turn your toes forward, but keep the feet wide and just come into ragdoll. Hands to opposite elbow crease. Swaying a bit side to side. Good. And then release the hands, heel toe the feet, hip width apart. Bend your knees. Inhale, press into the feet. Slowly rise up. Reach your arms up towards the sky. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, come onto your toes. And exhale, heels down, hands at heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up as you lift onto your toes. Exhale, release, hands to heart center. One more time, inhale, reach up, come onto the toes and hold here. See if you can keep your heels lifted as you cactus your arm and open your heart a little more. Now, chances are if you look up, you'll lose your balance, but you can play with it. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, heels down, bow forward, coming into the standing forward fold. All right, step your feet back, come back to downward facing dog again. And then shift forward to plank. And then we're going to lower to our elbows. So forearm plank. Keep the shoulders stacked over the elbows, palms down on the floor. Squeeze those sits bones together. Think of dropping the hips, but lifting through the inner thighs a little bit. And then start to lift the hips, walk your feet towards your head. So just bringing the hips as high over your shoulders as possible. Maybe lift one leg and then the other. You can always rest in child's pose. And that's where we'll all meet now. So come to another child's pose. This time make sure that the hands come back by your feet, allowing the shoulders to just drape off the knees. And then inhale, bring your hands to the mat by your knees and just sit yourself upright. So we have a request for an inverted balance pose, which I know can be scary for some people. So I'm going to just walk you through headstand prep. Okay. We do not have to do a headstand. You're welcome to if you want. If you have a wall handy, that's helpful. Just be safe, be mindful of your body, okay? So just watch me for a moment. I'm gonna basically come to table, and then I'm gonna bring my elbows down. Bring one fist to the other elbow. This is just to measure the position of the elbows. So now without moving the elbows, I'll interlace the fingers. And then I'm gonna open the thumbs. So the back of my head, at the back top corner of my head, right where my bun is gonna rest in the palm of my hands, okay? So I'm gonna bring my head down so the top of my head is on the floor. My hands are cupping the back top of my head. And then I'm gonna press into my forearms. So I'm not gonna use my head hardly at all. It's almost all my forearms. Okay, maybe just a little bit of resting on the head. And then walk the feet in as close as is comfortable. Again, press down into the forearms so there's not a lot of weight in the head. Maybe the hips stack over the shoulders. That's kind of the goal. Okay, and you could play around again with maybe lifting one leg, maybe tapping the back toes off the floor, and then the other. So if you haven't joined me already, of course you can come in and try it now. But just, it's really important to press down through the forearms. Let there be some space between the shoulders and the ears. And again, you can come only as far as you're comfortable. You don't have to take the feet off the floor, and you can always rest in child's pose. All right, let's come to seated. Bringing your feet out in front of you. So toes towards the top of your mat, sit up nice and tall. Extend your arms forward, palms face up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Lower down until you start to feel your feet lift. And then inhale, come back up. Reach forward, lift through the heart. Exhale. Lower down until you start to feel your feet lift. And then inhale back up and reach forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale back up, reach forward. The last time, exhale, lean back. Just before you feel your feet start to lift, and then pause. Hold here, draw the shoulders back. Breathe. Lower down about halfway more. Toes might start to lift, that's okay. You might start to tremble a little. That means you're doing it right. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Reach your arms out overhead. Find a nice long stretch through that front body. Walk out the hips a little bit. And then hug the knees in and rock side to side. So I had good intentions of taking you into pigeon, but we ran out of time. But we can do some pigeon, supine pigeon here on the floor. So take your left ankle to your right knee. Okay. Flex the left foot, press the left knee away from you. You can stay here if this feels good enough, or if you have any hip injuries. Okay, or you can draw your right knee, your right thigh in, bringing the legs in closer to the body, maybe using your elbow to gently cross that left knee away. And just see if there's any adjustment that you can make here to have a deeper experience in this stretch. So sometimes shifting the legs slightly to the right might give you a little more sensation. Maybe you like to move and rock side to side, or maybe when you rock side to side, you discover a different place to hold into for a while. And now release the hands, let that right foot come back to the mat, but keep your figure four. Okay, we're gonna drop both legs over to the right. You can grab a hold of your left ankle with your right hand. Okay, so the sole of the left foot should be flat on the ground. Your left knee pointing towards the sky. Holding on to that left ankle with your right hand, and then just gently pressing the left knee away from the body. So I always feel this, it's a really nice stretch in this outer left hip for me. You might feel it somewhere differently. And then we're going to come to center, uncross the legs, and we'll switch sides. So bring your right ankle to your left knee, flex that right foot, press the right knee away from you. Okay, this might be a great place to stay for you today, or you can interlace your hands behind that left thigh and draw the left leg in. Pressing that right knee away, maybe using the elbow to assist in that. And again, finding whatever adjustment you can make so that this feels good and right in your body. So maybe a slight shift to the left, or maybe rocking, having a more dynamic stretch. Good. And then release the hands, let that left foot come back to the mat, but keep your figure four. And then just let the legs drop over to your left, grounding the sole of that right foot, holding on to the right ankle with your left hand, pressing that right knee away from you. So I like to just kind of energetically do it, but you can use the hand to help you if you'd like. And just noticing where you feel it in your body, where this stretch comes into play. And breathe into it. Send your breath to the places that need your attention, that need kindness and compassion. So coming back to that mental health issue again, and maybe your mind is overwhelmed. Send your breath there. Maybe your heart feels overwhelmed. Send your breath there. Send loving kindness to the places that need it. And then inhale, coming back to center, releasing both feet back to the mat. Let's take the feet mat width apart. And then arms cactus, just windshield wiper your knees side to side. Next time knees come over to the left, go ahead and stay there. Option here, if you want to, you can pick up that left foot and rest it on top of the right knee, driving the right knee away from the hip, maybe even reaching the right hand in the opposite direction, away from the hip, so that there's a nice long line from your left hand, your right hand, through your right knee. And then on your next inhale, we'll come to center, feet mat width apart, drop your knees to the right, and pause here. So again, if you want to, you can pick up that right foot, rest it on top of the left knee as that left knee drives away from the hip, and then extending left arm in the opposite direction. So up overhead, reaching away from the hip. So we've got this line, this lateral stretch through that left side body and outer left hip. And then inhale back to center. Let's hug the knees in towards the armpits. Squeeze them in tight as you rock a bit side to side. And then we can come into dead bug pose. So bring the soles of the feet towards the sky. Reach up and grab a hold of the feet with the hands. Pull down on the feet. Draw the knees close to the floor by your armpits. And at the same time, press your feet up into the hands. So it's a little isometric. There's a lot of work happening through the legs. Okay, you can probably really feel this. In the back of the legs, try pressing the low back down into the mat. And then soften the effort and rock side to side for happy baby. Maybe extending one or both legs straight. If plow is in your practice, you might want to take a moment to bring the feet up overhead. Try not to look side to side in this pose, even though you might be tempted to see the screen. If you're in plow, you can support the low back with your hands if you like. Or just enjoy happy baby a little bit longer. On your next exhale, we'll all try to make our way into a legs up the wall pose. So just stacking the legs over the hips, flexing the feet. Just trying to balance. I always overcommit here and bring my feet way beyond my hips. So really try to stack your ankles over your knees, over your hips. Feel the low back, not pressing towards the floor, but it should be coming close to the floor without that effort. Maybe there's a little release in the sacrum. And taking a moment here to practice your breathing. So again, could be samavriti, could be that you choose to extend the inhale or the pause after the inhale for a more stimulating experience. Or maybe you choose to extend the exhale and or the pause at the end of the exhale to create a more grounding, calming experience. Or you can just practice again the equal breath, equal flow. With your next exhale, slowly release the legs and stretch out for Shavasana. And then let's all just take a few rounds of easy Samavriti. So don't extend the count for very long. We don't want to strain. Let's just have a nice, easy, equal inhale, equal exhale, and equal pauses. And then just allow your breath to come back to a natural rhythm, letting go of all effort and just watching the breath. Not analyzing, not judging. Just being a witness to the natural flow of the inhales and exhales. Relaxing the body against the earth. Perhaps sensing that nurturing, grounding energy. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then exhale through your mouth. Start to invite small movements back into your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet. Slowly reaching your arms out overhead, finding one more long stretch. Lengthening through one side of the body and then the other, and then both. And then drawing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself one more tight squeeze before rolling to one side in a fetal position. Taking a few more moments on your side. Savoring this peace and quiet and calm just a little bit longer. So remembering the sensation so you can come back to it anytime. And then keep your eyes closed as you slowly make your way back to seated. We'll meet with hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. And we'll close our practice by chanting the universal sound of Om, feeling that vibration resonate from the base of the spine and working its way up as you come to the silence at the end of the Om. So I'll take a deep breath in together. May our bodies and our minds always be healthy. May our minds and our hearts always remain open. May we move through life with intention and gratitude, sharing our joy with everyone we meet. Thank you all so much for being with me today. Namaste.